Texas businesses are facing a tough choice after Republican Governor Greg Abbott this week banned vaccine mandates in the state, including at private businesses. The move is aimed at President Biden's vaccine requirement for companies doing business with the government, among others. Texas businesses now must decide who to comply with. Already Southwest and American Airlines, both based in Texas, have said they'll obey the federal mandate. Christian Menefee, attorney for the largest county in the state, Harris County, says that Governor Abbott's move puts lives at risk. He's calling on Texans to take legal action against the governor. Menefee said in a statement on Tuesday, "This is mostly a political bluster designed to create confusion and subject businesses to burdensome lawsuits, which can only slow down our economic recovery. I encourage Texas business owners who believe in science and the rule of law to sue Governor Abbott and join Harris County and other cities and school districts fighting back against his overreach." Christian Menefee joins us now. Mr. Menefee, thanks so much for being with us. Can you explain why you're encouraging businesses to sue over this ban?
Thank you, Anderson. I'm happy to be here. This is not our first rodeo with Governor Abbott exceeding his legal authority in issuing these bans. He issued a ban on mask mandates right on the cusp of schools opening back up in the state of Texas. School districts were prohibited from issuing mask mandates. Local governments were prohibited from doing the same. And so what we've seen is that the governor is not going to respect the will of the people. He's not going to respect the law, which is very limited in when he can issue executive orders. But one thing he's going to have to respect is the will of the courts. And so I'm calling on Texas business owners to file these lawsuits because that's exactly what we did in local government. When the governor previously issued these bans on various measures to stop the spread of COVID, we filed lawsuits, school districts filed lawsuits, cities across the state filed lawsuits. And I think it's time for businesses to get into the game as well.
Are you planning on bringing legal action on this ban on vaccine mandates?
Well, the good news is our pending lawsuit against the governor and the attorney general right now already addresses the overreaching question, which is, does the governor have the legal authority under Texas's Disaster Act to issue these executive orders? If the Texas Supreme Court finds that the answer is no, and we hope that they will, then it means that none of these executive orders that he's using to tie the hands of local officials and businesses have any legal merit. And so we're confident that with the lawsuit that we have in place right now, we'll be able to get these questions answered by the courts.
It's interesting because back in August, a spokesperson for Governor Abbott said that businesses did have the option for mandating vaccines because, and I'm quoting, private businesses don't need government running their business. What's changed between then and now for the governor, do you think?
Things, and that's that he has gotten two high-profile primary opponents in his race for re-election. This is an ongoing pandemic. People are dying across the state. Texas is second in the nation in deaths from COVID-19. This is a very serious matter. We shouldn't be playing politics with it. But the only thing that's changed between now and the time period that the governor made that statement is that he has primary opponents who are pulling him to the right. He's now trying to push a message to a very small and specific base in the state of Texas that are against various measures to keep folks safe during COVID-19. It's wrong. Local governments are doing everything we can, as our school districts. And there are many businesses across the state who are seeking to do the exact same thing. There's already been statements released by the Austin Chamber of Commerce, by the local business organization in Houston, and nobody is in support of this. And it's pretty obvious that the governor is doing it for political reasons.
I mean, businesses that decide to follow the federal government mandate as opposed to what the governor wants, could they potentially face financial penalties for defying the state?
Absolutely, and that's what makes the governor's order so nonsense, is it purports to ban any entity in the state of Texas from issuing any type of vaccine mandates. Well, we know that there are entities in Texas that are comprised 100% of federal employees. We know that there are entities, including nursing homes, that have to get federal dollars. And in order to do so, they have to comply with federal rules. That's exactly what this order was intended to do, Anderson. It was intended to confuse businesses so that they don't know whether they should follow the federal rules or the state rules. But it's not good policy. It's not good leadership, especially at a time like this when we're dealing with a pandemic.
When are you expecting your lawsuit to be ruled on?
Well, we originally teed this up for the Texas Supreme Court months ago because we were trying to get an order before school started, but they have since punted on the issue and it was cast back down to the lower courts. We're now in the appellate courts here in the state, and many of these cases we expect will be before the state Supreme Court in the next few weeks. And we're hopeful that with counties across the state, cities across the state, parent groups, student groups, and school districts all binding together to fight against the governor's overreach, that the courts are going to do the right thing and rein the governor in.
Christian Menefee, appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thank you, Anderson.
Coming up next, why William Shatner was, is, and always will be a rocket man.